when you hold me and kiss me slowly. It's the sweetest thing, and it don't change. If I had it my way, you would know that you are. You're the coffee that I need in the morning. You're my sunshine in the rain when it's pouring. Won't you give yourself to me? Give it all. I just wanna see. I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it. I know you're a star. Where you go, I'll follow, no matter how far. If life is a movie, oh, you're the best part.
Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm doing my September wrap-up. So I was a little too ambitious with my September wrap-up. I knew that it was going to be a busy month with work because students were coming back to campus. I started classes again, all of that, and I still decided to be ambitious. So there are actually two books that I did not get to. The first is The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. This is the first in a series. I do want to read this because I'm doing, it's not really a secret TBR. I don't really do that, but I do want to do a video surrounding certain romance novels. The other one is Hood Feminism. I'm really sad about this because I've heard such great things about this. If you didn't see, I did a live show for Rachel's Feminist AF Book Club. I will leave the link to it down below. It was a really good time. We had a really great discussion about Women Race and Class by Angela Davis, and reading that is what inspired me to pick up Hood Feminism. So hopefully I will get to both this and The Wedding Date sometime before the end of the year. I'm just going to try to squeeze them in with some of my other TBRs if I can. So the goal is to get them done before the end of the year, but we'll see. Also, my neighbor is doing whatever it is that he does, so all the noise that you hear in the background, just try to ignore it, because apparently I just can't get away from it. So I had to scooch over a little because there are quite a few books that I read that were either on audio or ebook, so I don't have physical copies, and I'll put a picture of the cover. But the first of which is In Every Mirror She's Black. This came out on September 12th, and it is about 3 Black women living in Sweden who are all loosely connected by one person. So you follow these 3 perspectives, eventually they converge, and I do have a full review of this, but the ending of it left me speechless. It was not what I expected, not what I wanted. My heart hurt, and I just have so many feelings about this book. I rated it 4 stars, highly recommend, and it's one of those books that doesn't necessarily end happily for everyone, and I kind of appreciate that. I think I've been reading a lot of things that kind of do end happily ever after, and so having something that didn't was a good change of pace, I think. I'm also interested to see what other work this author puts out, so I will definitely be on the lookout for that. The next book that I read was City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the first book in the Daevabad trilogy. I buddy read this with my good friend Dasha, and both of us really enjoyed it. I finally have a 5-star prediction. That was actually 5 stars. So in this, we're following a con artist who has certain abilities that she can't really explain. She doesn't have any family, she kind of grew up on the streets, but she accidentally summons an ancient Shin warrior, and then we follow their journey from there. They have to travel to the city of Brass, Daevabad, and she's trying to learn more about her past. The ending was so good. I have so many questions, and I'm super excited to read Kingdom of Copper. I rated this 4.75 stars. I only didn't give it a full 5 because there is a romance subplot that frankly I felt was unnecessary. I don't think it added anything to the story, and I could have done without. There were so many interesting things happening in the story that it just didn't feel needed. So that is the only complaint that I have about this book. Otherwise, I'm really excited to continue with the rest of the trilogy. The next book that I read was Learn My Lesson by Katee Robert. This is the second book in the Wicked Villain series that follows Meg, Hades, and Hercules. I really enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars. I liked it better than Desperate Measures, and I do have a full drunk book review of it on my channel, so I will link that in the cards and the description below. I am very excited to continue with the series. I think Katee Robert is just one of those authors that I'm really going to enjoy, so I'm really excited to keep reading more of her work. The next book that I read was My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. This was a gift from my boyfriend for my birthday, and it is the book that Robin picked for me to read this month. In this, we are following a couple who likes to commit an occasional murder together. The tagline for it describes it as Mr. and Mrs. Smith meets Dexter, which is pretty accurate, and I think it definitely delivered on that. There are a lot of twists and turns along the way, and it was a good time. It's not my favorite mystery or thriller that I've read this year. I rated it 3.5 stars, but I still thought it was a good time. I've also heard that this is getting an adaptation, so I'm really excited to see that. I think it's supposed to be on like Amazon Prime or something like that, but I think it would be really good. I would love to see this come to life. So definitely recommend if you're into murder, mystery, with some betrayal along the way. The ending was not what I expected though. Not in a bad way, just I didn't see it coming. But yeah, definitely recommend this one. And the last book that I read was Daughters of Enri. So this is the first book in the Return of the Earth Mother. I'm not sure if it's going to be a duology or a series, but the second book comes out in October. In this, we're following Sinai and Nala, who are twins who are separated at birth due to the Eze's rule that twins are not allowed in the kingdom. Any woman who gives birth to twins is to be prosecuted for that crime, and then the twins are meant to be slaughtered within their first week of being born. As they get older, they both start to deal with their own struggles, and it appears that they may have some sort of elemental magic that is not common in their kingdom anymore. So we follow both of their perspectives. Eventually their storylines do converge, and I did really enjoy this. I rated it 3.5 stars. I think I'm gonna like the second book better because there was something that I was waiting for in the first book that took forever to actually happen, and then when it did, I'm just like, okay, well now what? But then that's kind of where it ends. So I didn't have the second book on my TBR for the rest of the year, but I might have to slide it in somewhere because I am very curious about how this is going to continue and if it's actually going to end or if there's going to be more books down the line. I have so many questions for book 2, but I would highly recommend this for anyone who enjoys fantasy with a romance subplot and a little bit of rebellion sprinkled in. So those are all of the books that I read in September. Let me know if you have read them as well or if they are on your TBR. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.